go live so people can, if they want to watch us as well, and then we can kind of do that as well. So everybody hop on, go ahead and ping some people. We got a great conversation as always. I'll start with the intro in just a few seconds here. We'll give a few more people to hop on. We're going to have a great conversation tonight to kind of reflect on what's been happening in the past. And so, with that being said, we will do that here. I'm going to see if I can do a screen share. That's what I'm trying to do. And put Clubhouse's app here on the screen, but not seem to getting that yet. So we'll see. All right. So let me get ready to kick us off. Tiffany, you ready?
Absolutely.
All right. Good evening, everyone. You're in the right place at the right time. Hi, I'm Roderick Martin, and I want to welcome you to Extraterrestrial Evidence. Now, you could have been anywhere else, but you chose to be right here tonight. And with that being said, we're going to serve you. And we got a great conversation for you tonight. But first, we're going to do this. We're going to be the boldest, baffling, belligerent clubhouse in the world, creating captivating conversation, certainly causing controversy. So I want you to join us tonight as we uncover UFOs, extraterrestrials, and those government secrets. And as always, I got the greatest admin of all time, which is Tiffany. So we're going to do some great things going at that point. And so if you're watching us today from YouTube, we are live streaming from Clubhouse as well. So you're going to get some audio there, but you're welcome to participate with this. Now, of course, the title tonight is exactly what we're going to be talking about, is Stephen Greer versus Louise Elizondo. Now, if you haven't been sleeping in a rock, under a rock, you know that there's been some things happening lately, and there's things that we need to talk about. And with that being said, we will plan on doing just that. And so to set the tone for that, Tiffany and I is going to let a few of you come up on stage today so we can really get down to what we're working on. And so I'm really excited about that. And again, if you're watching us on YouTube, I'm live, and we're going to be bringing an audio feed from Clubhouse tonight in there. So let's set the tone here as we begin the process of doing what we're doing. And guys, there's a lot been happening in the past when it comes down to where we are. And there's two factions, okay? There's one faction on one side, which most people will say, you know what, the extraterrestrials, the UFOs is a threat. There's another faction on the other side said, you know what, we come in peace. Now, what is it? Which is it? Which one do you fall on? Which side do you see? And we're going to be discussing that tonight because we think it's a great conversation to be having this day of time. But it's featuring two heavyweights in the industry that's about to slug off when it comes down to their opinions and everything else, as they're already putting things out in the press and flagging and not just flagging, but signaling that one or the other is not right in what they're saying, is not what's going on. But it's up to you to decide. You as the audience, the person, the people that's listening. And Tiffany and I are just going to pose a case of theories. We're going to listen to what you have to say, and we're going to share our personal opinion wherever that goes when it comes down to what is happening. Now, I just want you guys to know that extraterrestrial ET is real, and we are being visited at some point. And now that justifies everything. So both sides definitely believe that we're not alone in this universe. So that's some common ground that we have when it comes down to Stephen Greer, who we're talking about, and Louise Elizondo. And so with those two people, that's a powerful things that's happening, the movement, the system of things. And so we're going to discuss that here. From there. So with the YouTube audience listening on, you can get involved in this conversation. You can put things and post your comments. I'll put them on the screen. I'll relay them over to our Clubhouse audience where Tiffany is there as well. And that's where we're going to be going. So Tiffany, where do we begin? And first of all, once again, how's your day?
My day is great. Oh, I'm hearing a lot of feedback.
Okay, well, let's see. We shouldn't have any on my end. So, okay. Do you hear any feedback from me talking, or are you just hearing feedback, period?
Nope, it's just when I respond.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe I need to do this when you respond. I'm going to shut my mic off. Now go ahead.
Okay. Oh, yep, that works. That works. So yeah, I'm very excited for today. I know we he captured some audio from both of these. I think you called them heavyweights in the movement, sharing their thoughts on it, and they are definitely butting heads.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. That is what's happening. They're butting heads and everything else, and so we're definitely doing some great things. So on YouTube, we have Jesse Peak that's watching us live. He is a MUFON investigator from Pennsylvania. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Tiffany, as you hear her, is a MUFON investigator as well in Maryland. And of course, I'm a MUFON investigator in the state of Texas. And in the audience, we got Samantha, and Samantha's in Maryland with you too, right? Okay, well, great. And you can start bringing some people up, and we'll open up this dialogue in just a few minutes. We got a lot of people that wants to come up. I'm trying to get the, well, they were saying they can barely hear you on YouTube, so you definitely want to speak up, but I'm going to turn your volume up on my end. So let's give them a mic test for YouTube. Go ahead.
Okay, testing.
All right, YouTube, what do you guys think? All right, so they can hear you. A couple of them are responding there, so we appreciate it. And eventually, guys, I will get this right, where you will be able to see our Clubhouse people on this screen. The app is supposed to be working, and it is not working. So we'll do that. So, all right, so guys, here's where we're going to start. You can pick the side that you're on. Maybe you're a believer in the fact that some of these UFOs poses a threat to us. We got a little audio from Lou. I was trying to get some from Stephen and what he's talked about, and we'll try to put some things in perspective for there. But in the meantime, I think that you did what now?
I sent the audio for Stephen. It's over to you as well.
Oh, okay. I'll get to it in just a few minutes then. We'll definitely do that. Okay, so we might, my YouTube crowd is saying that they are not hearing things. We got echoes, we got all kinds of stuff. And this is new. When you are here trying to do new things and change it up a little bit, I could actually F things up. So we're going to take that alphabet, and hopefully there's no children on here tonight to kind of go with that. We'll do the best we can, guys, but if it gets bad, go back over to Clubhouse and check us out. We got a stage full of people. So I can tell you guys from YouTube, we have John, we got Josh, E.T., Jim, Hermes, Joshua, and John. Boy, it is a J night tonight, okay? So we got all the J's in the alphabet up here tonight. So obviously, we may have some opinions on everybody doing that. And then if you're in the audience with YouTube, I see a bunch of you guys. Tell me a little bit real quickly, what side of the fence you're on? Or are you believing that the phenomena is no threat to us? Or do you believe that it is a threat? And I'll post your comment on the screen, and that way other people will kind of know what you're talking about. So Tiffany, I'm gonna get started. And I am trying to swing between two audiences, and it may be a bad moment tonight, but we'll practice it right now. One of the things I will say is this. I'm on the fence line of both. I'm in the middle, to be honest with you. I do believe that we should prepare for any threat that's out there. I think everybody on this phone or listening to us in Clubhouse know the concept of insurance, right? That's why you have it. You have it on your car just in case shit happens, or you have a wreck. Why not have insurance just in case something happens that we're prepared to protect ourselves from what we don't know? And then on the other hand, just like everything else, you get good credit for insurance if you drive for years and don't have a wreck. That guy with that voice be talking about it. Our no wreck policy. I don't know. You know the commercial. But the whole point, I think that we will get into everything, and we'll definitely get to where you are. So what I'm going to do in a second, I got to figure out a way to get the Stephen Greer. So what if you can, Tiffany, do me a favor. I know you sent me the link, but email it. Then I can fire it up on the computer, and then the people in the audience can hear what Stephen Greer says. Okay. I got Lou's already in the.
Play it.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So start the process. Go ahead and you play what Stephen has said, and then I'll play what Lou Elizondo has said as well. Go ahead.
Okay. Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to cue that up.
1, 2 in real time. 1, 2.
Now, this is different from people like Elizondo.
You're going to have to mute your mic.
Oh, there. Wait a minute. There it is. Okay, guys, she's going to be playing that audio for you guys.
Now, this is different from people like Elizondo, who has now admitted to the Disclosure Project lawyer, Daniel Sheehan, that he was not telling the public the truth, that there was a threat from the aliens or the UFOs. Now, if he were to say there's a threat to the national security from the unacknowledged special access projects that have these very advanced technologies, that would be true. That's not what he's saying. So he needs to correct his statement, or we will continue to expose this lie. That's the same thing for Leslie Kean, same thing for Jeremy Corbell, same thing for Nick Pope, same thing for Chris Mellon. So they either need to
that's some crazy stuff, y'all.
Not make false statements, know what they're talking about, and certainly they need to stop repeating these lies to the American public and to the Congress, because this is a very dangerous path that they're on. Whether they're on it wittingly or unwittingly, I can't say what their motives are, but we now know for a fact that Luis Elizondo knows better than to say that A, we don't know what these are, B, that we don't have anything that can move the way these are moving, and C, that he doesn't know if they're extraterrestrial or not, since we now know he has admitted that he has been in a facility with an actual extraterrestrial craft that was retrieved. Now, these sort of omissions of the truth and half-truths are very, very dangerous, because people think because of his credentials, and the same is true of Chris Mellon, as someone who is an official who's been in the Pentagon and the Department of Defense, people take them to know what they're talking about. So if they don't know what they're talking about, they need to learn what the subject is really about, and until then, be quiet. If they are going to continue to tell lies knowingly, the way that both Chris Mellon and Luis Elizondo have done, and we can expect more people in their wake to come out telling these sort of lies, we need to call them out on it, and we need to do it very clearly, because there's too much at stake. People are actually believing what they're saying. They think that they're doing this sincerely, and we now know for a fact that it is a big deception. Everyone on this call probably knows Luis Elizondo is a professional disinformation agent, putting out false intelligence about the UFO matter and through the mainstream media. I read a
Okay, so that was Steve Greer.
That was some serious stuff, y'all. Calling out everyone in the industry and really doing that, and specifically calling out in names, and that started the real deal. Okay, when it comes down to which side of the fence, and I think the conversation is really getting deep because Lou responded within kind, but he did not specifically say a name. But what he is talking about, I'm going to play that audio that he did in an interview, Lou, a couple of days ago. The first part is not what he said about Stephen Greer, but how it works with what's going on with these UAPs. And this is what Stephen is talking about from this particular part of what he's saying. So let's go ahead and see if we can fire that up and you guys can hear it. Let's go.
Reported it. We were told not to report that stuff. And if you did, you might be taken off flight status. You'd have your security clearance in jeopardy. So that's the reason why. Because after Blue Book, they said, listen, don't bring this topic up again. We don't want to hear about it. And if you do, be prepared for the repercussions. That's changed. Now there's actually reporting requirements where our brave men and women in uniform are required to report this. But that's only recent. That wasn't the case. And so I think it's, especially from a national security construct, imagine you're the Secretary of Defense and I'm working for you. and I come to you and I say, hey, boss, you got a minute? Listen, there's something in our airspace. We don't know what it is. We don't know how it works. We have no idea who's behind the wheel or what the intentions are. Oh, by the way, there's not a damn thing we can do about it. There you go. Now, your reaction to me as a Secretary of Defense is going to be, what? Well, we're paid to have answers. Go find an answer. Well, okay, sir, then I need a budget. And sir, I need authority, and I need resources. I need manning, and I need money, and I need, all the things that come along with that. And then, oh, by the way, people are going to say, well, what are you spending money on? Well, I'm spending it on UFOs. You're what? Whoa, what? You're spending my taxpayer money chasing UFOs? Yep, that's exactly what we're doing.
Now, so you heard that, and that's what Stephen is saying in retrospect of, why are you saying we don't know? And you're stirring up the pot. Now, of course, the response to what Tiffany just played to you guys, I have what Lou's response is. And so we'll play this, and now we'll get into open discussion. And so before I play that, Tiffany, what do you think about what you just heard him say?
Well, like you, I am trying to be kind of on the center, be prepared for anything. I think, both of these individuals are pretty well informed as far as all the intricacies of the UFO community are concerned. But as to who has the best intentions, is Elizondo a anti-information agent, or is I'll let him say what he thinks of Greer in the next clip, but it really comes down to what camp are you on, and I'm not sure where I sit.
Okay, well, that's fair enough. And again, I'm going to play what he said as opposed to he kind of alluded to who he was talking about. And he's going to get deep with it. And it's going to set this conversation in motion. And for those of you watching this on YouTube, you're hearing audio that's plugged in from Clubhouse. I'm doing my best. I supposed to have the software where you can actually see on the YouTube screen everybody in Clubhouse that's talking. And I'm steady playing with it, having technical difficulties and trying to do it all at the same time. But regardless, we're going to make it through. But I promise you we will fix it, because this is what we do. So let's play that audio of him responding in kind to what has been said about him verbally and pointing out. But he doesn't use any names. But definitely you got to hear what he's about to say. And please, it's going to blow you away here. So let's go.
That gets into a difficult conversation, and why it's important that we remove the taboo and the stigma that's been associated with this, and have the discussion. I read a really interesting post not too long ago on Twitter where someone says, the only ones who say they know are fools and charlatans, right? And this topic has historically been chock full of some people that have been taking advantage of people for a long time. And that's part of the problem. They all think they have the answer. They all think they know. Oh, we know it's from the Pleiades or Alpha Proxima, or they're good, or I can come here, I can summon them for you while I pay someone to drop flares out of an airplane. There's all sorts of characters out there that have made a cottage industry on this. And it's damaged the credibility of the topic. That's why no one in the media for years wanted to even touch this topic, because it's frankly was considered fringe for so long.
Woo. All right. So now it sounds like, and maybe I'm wrong, that the other faction, and he's talking about Stephen Greer and others in that area, that's for sure. And saying that they are the ones who's causing why we haven't getting coverage, because people just feel it's a little too deep, that we just going to sum these things up by our consciousness. And I'm not saying we can't do it and it hasn't been done. That's not what I'm talking about. But at the meantime, he's saying it's giving us a stigma. And he said some of the stuff is fake, flares, people, but he also say people are making mega money from this. And so this is where the stance goes, okay, in the middle. Now, these are all recent. This is not 6 months ago. This is all happening coming up to disclosure, where we're on our way to. And so there is a divide in factions between what are we going to hear? Why is there a threat? Should we put money in it and everything else? And just like I said before, I don't, as a taxpayer, fine. It's okay if my government comes to me and say, hey, we got something flying around. We don't know what it is. And we like to put some type of defense mechanism in place to make this works out. Okay, make sure just in case. And then on the other hand, I'm in agreement that hey, you know what, everybody come in peace. We got a higher message because we listened to Anjali and she's been informed, but she's also said there are some things that we got to do that they want us to do or else, so to speak, right? So that message is however you want to interpret it. But at the end of the day, there's a crossroads in the middle of this, and I think we need to try to explore it. So, Tiffany, you just heard what he said. You heard about the flares. You heard about people making money from it. I think you and I have had discussions about, when you told me one day there was something that cost X amount of dollars for something, and I thought it was a fan, but you was like, hell no, But at the same time, without calling out names, I'm just saying we know people are making money. And now I'm not talking about people writing their books. That not because we got friends that write books. There are people that are charging thousands on thousands of dollars for you to have an experience. Okay. And if you want to go to Six Flags and ride the roller coaster for $29.95 for that experience, you have the right to do so. What do you say, Till?
Well, I think I'm right there with you. I think adults can choose to do what they do with their funds, but I think there is a line, right, between charging for a service or an experience and then overcharging. But that's not really, I guess, for me to decide because that's not that's not much of what we're talking about um, tonight as to what my opinion on charges. I just think that these two heavyweights are definitely squaring off, and I'd love to hear from some others as to what camp they're in. Help me decide because I'm very torn.
Yeah. Okay. So on the YouTube, we got Jesse who said he think Lewis is saying that they're a threat just because he want to ask for more money for military industrial complex. What are your thoughts, Tim? Is he?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, there you go. I don't know. Because I'm not him, so I can't speculate on his opinion. But what I can say is that threat does equal money, and that's just kind of a fact. Whether that has to do with the UAP phenomena or not, I'm not sure because I that's out of my wheelhouse, above my pay grade. But I can say that threat does equal money. War equals money.
Well, yeah, and I agree. I think if someone came down to my door and was taking a collection on, there's some stuff flying around and they may do this. Can you put $5 in it? I'm gonna put $5 in it. And then somebody else come around and say, Roderick, we making contact them because they in peace. That's gonna cost $6. I'm gonna put $6 in it. And a person come back and say, man, that ain't enough. We need 20 because they make shoot. I'm gonna get my $20 and it's not gonna stop, right? So okay, let's get all right, people on YouTube, we own Clubhouse. If you got something to say, you can post your comment. I'll post it and say it to the audience in Clubhouse. So let's start with John. You up first. What are your thoughts? Let's go with it.
That'll be John Draper. We have several Johns.
Oh yeah, I wasn't sure which John you were referring to. Well, I'm on the side of now Lewis. He's the one that thinks they are dangerous, right? And Stephen Greer is the one that thinks they are peaceful, right? I just want to get these straight.
Well, it
Right.
seems possibly Lou Elizondo isn't necessarily saying threat directly. It sounds
Yeah.
more like he's saying that there is a possibility that these could be a threat. And the main
The
point of
only way that I
yeah,
could see that these could be a threat is if we threaten them. If we stay out of their way and don't damage the earth and uh, and be peaceful and even explore space, I don't think they're going to cause us a problem. But if we step on them or get in their way or do something that they won't like, they are going to do something about it, because I've seen reports where they have shut down missile systems during certain tests that they thought were dangerous. And I haven't read um, Jacques' book yet. I haven't got it in the mail yet. I should be getting it today, actually. Uh, but uh, but during the 1947 nuclear tests, the Trinity tests, they are very concerned about the nuclear weapons. And if we do not shoot these off and are, you might say, more peaceful with them, then I don't think they're going to bother us. That's my side of things. Okay, now Greer, I haven't really heard a lot of what he's been saying. Um, I haven't been able to catch a lot of his YouTube videos yet, but I know he's way up on top of things as well, and he's got his own ideas. They all seem to be pretty valid too. What if they are not so peaceful? I mean, and then you got these different species of aliens too. We got the reptilians, which are more dangerous to us. To them, we are food. And then of course you got the Greys, and the Greys are sort of like a lot more peaceful looking, at least, but you never can tell. But that's my opinion of them, anyway.
Thank you, John.
All right. So, John, great. Thank you for your opinion. And what we're going to do, we're going to go back and forth. We're going to have people on YouTube. We got a lot of viewers there, and then some is posting their opinion. And John, I will say to you, I know you're back in the audience, and there was something you said that stood out to me, but we'll get back to that in a minute. But here on YouTube, there is a username, JHMTP Video, and he says Greer gave up a highly paid medical career to lead disclosure efforts. He leads a group for a 5-day ET discovery effort and charges for his time and skills. What is the dang on problem? He sells them out. Now, I put the emphasis on damn because, but he said, what is the problem? Why are y'all having a problem, or anyone have a problem with what he's doing? And so I'm okay with that comment. And again, like I said, if you want to go to Six Flags and you want to pay $29.95 for experience on the Big Thrill or the Batman or whatever you want to do, that's fine. And so I'm not discounting me, myself personally, don't discount anyone charging anybody for their skill sets or what they do. I don't have a problem with that. Now, if he's making millions of dollars, woohoo. And if he was my friend and I can get a loan, I'm going to ask him, and if he tell me he made the money selling tickets to an ET experience, I'm still going to take the money. On the other hand, go ahead.
What I would say is that the point, I don't think that on this show, Roderick, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think either one of us, and I can't speak for anybody who's in our audience who wants to speak today, but I don't think either one of us is trying to pose kind of like a morality. Should he charge what he charges? Should anybody be making money off of this? Anything like that? Because I don't think really that is the main topic of discussion. I don't think either one of us has a problem with someone being compensated for their efforts, and everybody's time is worth the price point that they put on it, right? So it's up to the consumer to choose to spend their money where they see fit. What I think the main points of discussion here is Dr. Stephen Greer calling out Luis Elizondo and several others by name, stating that they are giving misinformation. And then you have Luis Elizondo on the other side calling out certain people, not by name, but alluding to people like Dr. Stephen Greer, who have made money not off of this community, but have made money within this community. And he is posing that they are the ones that are giving kind of the community a bad name and making us not as reputable and not as convincing to the mainstream public. So I think that's more the discussion is both of these giants are kind of calling each other out, saying the other one is spreading misinformation or is doing so for some other type of gain, whether it's notoriety for Mr. Elizondo or it's monetary gain for Mr. Greer. So I don't really think it's necessarily that we have a problem with what Dr. Greer is charging. So I just wanted to make sure that was clear.
Well said. That's well said. And does anybody know what he charges for one of these excursions or whatever? Anybody on YouTube? You can type it across the screen, or
I
anybody.
have to double check,
Okay.
but I believe it's like 3K to 5K.
Okay. So, all right. So 3,000 to 5K for an experience. And I'm going to say, damn. But I will say, if he drop it down to 1995, I'm going to go because I can afford that. Okay. So, damn is probably because I don't have the money. Now, if I was sitting on $1 million and I ain't have nothing else to do, or if I had something to do and I wanted to spend my money on seeing what's going on, I probably would spend the money because obviously it's the money, right? And if it was free, everybody would do it. Then I don't know. So that's my whole opinion on that. Now, so we're going back to a Clubhouse comment, or am I reading the next YouTube comment?
Oh, we can go to Josh.
All right, Josh, not a long story. You know, Josh can get in it because he is a fan. So, Josh, hit the point. You got it, buddy.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on stage, and yeah, I'll do my best because I know there's a lot to cover on this topic, and I just love that you guys host this discussion. I've also been hosting some of these UAP rooms on Clubhouse, and I think our room got tweeted out by Clubhouse the other night. Yours as well, Roderick, and the same by Clubhouse. So,
Oh, were you running? You weren't running the room while I was doing my pilot show, right? You didn't do that. No, that wasn't you.
I believe we were running different clubs at the same time.
No, I was doing a
And-
pilot. The community was supposed to support the show, Josh.
Roderick, Josh didn't know about.
look, they coming in, Josh. They coming in for you. I know that's fine, but go ahead, Josh.
I hear you. Yeah, Patrick actually informed me to your guys' group. I was saying in Clubhouse when they tweeted, I saw your room.
Yeah, I saw it. I was just messing with you.
Adjacent to mine. So yeah, thank you for also just hosting the space to destigmatize the topic overall. And yeah, this is a great one. Stephen Greer versus Luis Elizondo. I'm gonna kind of reiterate what some of the things you guys said. I also fall in between. They're both established, and the clips that you played where Stephen Greer is calling out the notable researchers that I mentioned, Leslie Keene, Christopher Mellon, Luis Elizondo, we said Jacques Vallée, and Nick Pope, the Minister of Defense of Britain, all established. They've all, accumulated their own testimonials from not just 1, 2, 3 people, but like hundreds of ex-government docs, and so has Stephen Greer. So the fact that I just commend all of those people in general for finding people that come to them with the stories, and just that in itself speaks volumes. That it's not just Stephen Greer, it's not just Luis Elizondo, it's not Chris Mellon, it's not one of these guys, it's all of them finding different resources that are telling the same story. And when we get down to it, yes, it's real. It's confirmed. There's these UAPs flying in the sky, and it's confirmed by the Navy videos that were released in the Department of Defense briefing April 14th, 2020. So that to me was the paradigm shift that I thought everyone was buried their head in the sand with COVID and trying to survive. And I thought, there's only a pandemic once every 100 years, so the government use it to their advantage to come out at this time. We always ask why now, and it's just because a lot of people are distracted, and better sense of it. And what I'll say on Stephen Greer calling out all of these other researchers, I just find that by Luis Elizondo, yes, he did actually label it a threat. I know we said maybe in his interviews he doesn't use that word, but he was the head of ATIP, Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, that ended in 2012. So it was called a threat in that program, and before that it was OSAP. I forget the vernacular for that one. Excuse me, it's too much to handle, but so he was calling it a threat, and by calling it a threat, I believe the mainstream media pays heed to it and attention. And so while I do believe Stephen Greer that these things that are coming here, they showed us that John said that, you know, they shut down nukes, and we know that from Robert Salas, you know, a Minuteman from Malmstrom Air Force Base in '67 in Montana. And there's, you know, a couple other incidences around the US where nukes have been shut down, and there's these real Air Force men that have come forward, and he came forward in the Disclosure Project with Stephen Greer in 2001, May 9th, 2001. So it's just, you know, it's here, and I believe they're not a threat, like Greer is saying, because they are shutting us down, and they're showing us that we have the capabilities, in essence, to, you know, destroy ourselves. And by them kind of coming here and just showing us that we don't have to destroy ourselves, I think that's a good thing. But on the flip side, where I'll be short, wrap it up here. But on the flip side, Luis Elizondo, you know, calling it a threat and pushing this narrative into the mainstream, it really just turns everybody's head, you know, not just us, the public, but it turns, you know, let's name them: CNN, Fox News, Business Insider, New York Times, UK News, Australia News, you know, you name it, France News. It's all around the world. And what we've also touched on, there's been reports throughout the 7 decades since these sightings. You know, there's been the Project Blue Book in '69, which got shut down. Like we said, it was taboo.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna cut you down for a minute, not down, but let me because you made a lot of great points, and that is the point. And think, you know, what John said earlier, which caught my attention, is when he said they're upset by what we are doing to our planet. The problem with that, I mean, I think we all have ownership to say this is our planet, not theirs. And then, of course, people say, you know, we were brought here, and what all of those stories. But I think the middle lining of this comes into the fact that on Stephen Grill's side, this is my opinion, is that he may have had interaction enough that nothing has happened. And so he's saying, okay, if it was something that's going to be happening, it could have been done, even though they're turning off things on the other side. I think what Lou and the other factions are saying is not just the ones you met, Steve. There's a whole lot of other people out there. So things flying around, we don't know what it is. In fact, let me play y'all this on a top level. Now, we're not talking about conspiracies. This is our former president, Barack Obama, and this is what he said.
When it comes to aliens, there's some things I just can't tell you on air. But what is true, and I'm actually being serious here, is that there's footage and records of objects in the skies that we don't know exactly what they are. We can't explain how they moved, their trajectory. They did not have an easily explainable pattern. And so, you know, I think that people still take seriously trying to investigate and figure out what that is.
Now, you heard what he said. This is our former president of the United States. And the key phrase is, we don't know what it is. And when you don't know what something is, it makes you begin the process of either trying to find out what it is and also prepare for what it may be if it's imminent danger. And now, on the other hand, Stephen Greer is talking about, you know, the experience, summing them up. He's not saying, and I don't think any of us seen one of the spacecraft that's flying around when Stephen has this excursion and it land and they get out, and he's saying, okay, y'all, here's the experience. We're summing up maybe interdimensional entities or other things. I don't know. I'm not getting into that point, but it's definitely not what's flying around that we can't keep up and we can't catch and we don't know what it is. It's parking at these excursions and getting out. So there could be two different things there. Okay, it's an invitation. So I'm being corrected on Facebook by Beverly Holmes. She said it's not a summon, it's an invitation. Okay, Beverly. All right, you're correct. Now, Jesse, go ahead.
I was going to say there's definitely something to be said, though, for, not that I'm taking a side, but for something that Elizondo said. He said, those that say they know. And so I think that that's a really important portion of that. When you say 100%, I know exactly what this is, I know where they're from, I know just anything with I know, and you don't have anything to I guess prove. And this is the case for a lot of things, right? We see this in religion all the time, with faith-based belief systems. You don't have anything to hold up and say this is the fact, and that's okay. But asking others to believe in the thing that you can't hold up and say this is the fact, um, that just doesn't sell well on on mainstream TV, and it doesn't do well for educating people if you can't produce something. So I think it's important to leave all options open as we move through the discussion, because the fact is, as much as someone may say like I know, there's a limit to that knowledge.
You got that right, and ain't now one of us, and I was getting ready to get some humor on that. Let me step out of that one, but I'm going to play one more audio clip, and this is what's happening today. And it's from Tucker Carlson, and he's pretty prominent when it comes down to this. And this is something that he says. Let's go there, and then we're going to bring up ET.
Years now, we've done regular segments on UFOs because there's a lot of evidence that maybe there's something to this thing. And then in the space of the last month or two, we've been drowned with evidence. By the way, on Sunday, we learned, no big deal, that UFOs have been flying into restricted airspace off the coast of Virginia every day for years. We learned this Sunday night in 60 Minutes. One former Navy commander, David Fravor, said he witnessed a UFO flying over the Pacific Ocean in November of 2004.
Now, okay, every day, the phone, and these are things that you guys are hearing. We're not pulling clips 6 months ago, not even 2 months ago. These are things that these people, Barack Obama, Tucker, all these people, Lou, Stephen, said in the last 10 days, 5 days, okay? And so one thing about it, we all talk about fake news, and someone's talking about that on YouTube and all that. But this particular phenomenon is on the left side. They're talking about it. The right side and the middle, it's talked about by everybody. It's just the information is a little separate, and the factions are different. The thing about it is there is something out here. There's something that's going down the fence line or the pipeline or whatever you want to call it. And each and every one of us should be prepared for one inevitable choice. We're not alone. I think we got to come into that agreement. And it was one of the reasons we called this club Extraterrestrial Evidence. We didn't call it whatever, we call it Extraterrestrial Evidence because the evidence is pointing to a situation or somebody, entities, something, and it's adding up every single day. And if you were paying your taxes, you go to work tomorrow morning, and that little section where the fees and stuff is coming out your check, then some of your money is in there when Lou said we're going to go and we're going to ask for money, and it's going to be taxpayers' money. And this is the part I don't get, because people are saying, oh, that's crazy. You're paying for it. So why don't you even get on the board and ask, what are y'all doing with my money? And this is where Congress and all this stuff is coming to play. And this is why new people are getting in these political arenas that will ask the questions that people wouldn't have asked 30 years ago. And now it's coming. And so don't be shocked when you go to work and, $2.2 thousand a year or 10 years you done spent on UFO programs and didn't know it. And it's just part of that process. And so, ET, you're up. Go ahead, buddy.
Oh, guys. Yeah, so I am going to pick sides. I am Team Elizondo.
Okay.
Yeah, and because I've met a lot of people like him in my work in the Swedish government, and I think he is on so many podcasts and YouTube channels on his spare time right now, and I think the smearing he has endured is very unfair, and I don't think he has pushed the threat narrative that much. To a certain degree, yes, because he's still loyal to the Defense Department, and it's their job to treat possible threats as threat until proven otherwise. So that's quite natural. I don't agree with him pushing the threat narrative on an unreasonable level. And he has said that the rumor about him being in a hangar with a UFO is not true. He has not been in a hangar with a flying saucer or something like that. And Stephen Greer, he might have done many good things, at least until 2001 with the Disclosure Project. But just the other day, he keeps talking about this upcoming false flag ET invasion or UFO invasion. That are going to be false flag. There's not actually, this is the military industrial complex that's going to make a false flag threatening UFO invasion kind of deal. Well, we'll have to see. We haven't seen any proof of that yet. So, what was that now? Yeah, and in the same breath as he mentions the false flag, he mentions 9/11 and COVID. So he loses, and the amount of money he's making with those CE5 events and all this stuff. No, I'm definitely team Elizondo, definitely.
All right, appreciate it. And you know, ET, you got some YouTube people that's saying ET is dropping the truth. And then we got Brutus, who says the current Obama UFO comments was made in a giggly exchange with James Gordon on The Late Show, fielding on-air questions from the band leader Reggie Watts. Context should be considered. I mean, we talking about a comedy show, but what the ex-president said, Brutus, is the truth of there's something. He's the ex-president. So in context with the environment where he is, but I'm sure in a meeting with the SecDef and all the rest of them, he would say, what the fuck is that in our sky? We need to find out, right? And so it's one of those deals. Now, real quickly, guys, I failed to mention Extraterrestrial Evidence have a club sponsor that's sponsoring our club and going to be providing a lot of things for us. And that sponsor is Billy Carson with Forbidden Knowledge. And so we definitely going to support his website and some things that he's doing. So we do. Billy is going to be here and out with us, and I'm going to do a lot of projects. I'm working with him in the future as well. But anyway, he's going to be coming here spitting some new knowledge as we going into the new era. But most importantly, he is sponsoring our club. And so that's good.
What website?
Huh?
Billy Carson, what is his website?
It is the forbiddenknowledge.com, the number 4, Forbidden Knowledge. So forbiddenknowledge.com, and actually gave me a shorter URL that I'll put into our stuff in a minute. And also, if you guys want to get on our alert list, believe me, you better do that. You want to text, look in the bios of Tiffany or I as you follow one of us. Definitely 972-784-8814. Text hashtag UFO. And if you're older than 50, you want to do £sign UFO. Okay. And so let's work that out, right? I'm 51, so hey, I'm with the club of the £sign. That's exactly what we used to do. So either way, the stuff is hitting on all cylinders. And so I'm in the middle with it, you know, where I will say that if somebody's making money to charge and do whatever they skill sets do, you do it and everything else. And like I say, on the other fence line. But if I had to choose a side, more likely I would probably say I'm with Elizondo's side, right? Because I want to know what's happening and what's really going on. Because if Stephen Greer has already explored everything he's done and it's safe over there, then I don't need to be over there anyway. It's safe. It's cool. But on the other side of the fence, I am wondering what's going on with the other people that's saying, hey, man, I'm up here in my airplane and I can't keep up with them, you know, or they're going into the water and we don't have technology that can go in the water, come back in the sky and go up in space and handle all that stuff at all these fast speeds and all that. And if they did want it to do something, you know, we are in a little trouble. So, you know, that's the point. And we're not saying they are, but the problem is, don't you want to be ready when things hit like that. And that's one of the things from there. So, Tiffany, I think we're having a great conversation. We passed the top and the bottom of the hour. Again, I want each and every one of you to know that tomorrow, just let you know, they're going to be making a decision on the Creators First program at 12 noon. We'll find out the 20 people that that won the Creators Fast program, and I hope that we did a good job, and we'll be part of that process, and we'll see how it goes from there as things go down the pipeline from there. But in the meantime, if you do we have more room for more people to come up, because we will be getting at the top of the hour out of here. But what do you think, Tiffany, as far as that? Then I'll make a couple of statements and we'll have Jim.
I think we have a little bit of room. I do know there was some people on stage that left the room, so when they come back, they will populate back on top. So if anybody has hands, get them in now, because in the next few seconds, I'm shutting them off.
All right, you heard it. So if you got your 2 cents in it, now I'm not as hard on my YouTube people as she's hard on Clubhouse. Look, y'all can say anything you want, just type it across the screen, and not that they're going to see it over here at Clubhouse, right? But I am working on it. Starting next week, you will be able to see, and it was supposed to happen tonight, where if you were here on YouTube, this would have been a split screen, and you would have saw all the Clubhouse faces in real time, and you would have known who was speaking. And so the technology is here, it's hooked up. It worked during the test run, just like Newton's law, anything, if I'm saying it right. Whoever said the thing that anything can happen, bad things can happen, things happen, I don't know. I'm taking it out of context, but you get okay, yeah. So that guy. And it's happening, and it happened. And I'm still, messing with this thing all day. But at the meantime, we're just trying to cross-pollinate what we do. And appreciate it, Jew, and those of you who are saying, great what we're doing. So again, Tiffany, reset us and let me continue.
Okay, good evening, everyone. You are in the Extraterrestrial Evidence Club. Tonight's topic is Stephen Greer versus Luis Elizondo. Both of these giants within the UFO information community are kind of butting heads at the issue of what disclosure is and who is the one giving out the right information. Is this an experience for us to have, something that means us no harm, that we know what it is? Or is this a possible threat, or is it a possible unknown that we need to continue exploring? Like Luis Elizondo said, these might be something we think are monsters that turn out just to be neighbors. So I really like that line and wanted to throw that in there. So whose side are you on? What do you believe? Is this a threat upcoming? Do you believe that we should keep that open, or do you sit in the camp with Dr. Greer and say Luis Elizondo is a misinformation agent, and we should just accept that these are good and benevolent? What do you think, Jim?
All right. So yeah, Jim, and give me 1 second. And Jim, I'm gonna set my little tone here. Basically, again, this is how I feel about it, and we'll set it right here. Lou Elizondo or Stephen Greer says to Lou Elizondo these words.
What you talking about, Lou?
And then, of course, Lou is saying,
"Ain't nobody got time for that."
And so that's the middle of the road. So with those two expressions, that's what we're going to go into the night with. Ain't nobody got time for that. And the other one is, what the hell you talking about? And I think they both said the same thing to each other that we all could hear. I'm sorry.
This is Jim speaking, and I acknowledge I'm being recorded. I've been following Stephen Greer for the last 15 or 20 years, and his method has been to find evidence of that we have known what the technology is, and this is he has hundreds of witnesses saying that we have been working on this technology for years and years. And so I'm not sure about what Luis Elizondo is saying, but I believe there is not as much threat as they're claiming to have. but Stephen Greer is just saying that they're putting too much evidence on the threat side to cause a stir and eventually want a war, when the current situation is we through whatever methods that we're able to control them. I don't think we can control them, but we've made whatever treaties we need to with them to keep it on the low down. And I don't think there's any reason it should come to head right now. If they were going to do anything, they could well have done it a long time ago, and we wouldn't have much control over it. But I do believe there are real UFOs out there, and I remember back in Stephenville, Texas, where there was a big craft that was viewed by hundreds, I don't know how many exactly, people, and there was like F-16s trying to follow it around. That's all I have to say.
All right, appreciate it. And yep, Stephenville is one of the things I know about. I talk, to a few people. I actually know a guy that was there that day. He's one of the people I do business with exotic birds. He's a breeder, and so that's one of the things there from there. But at the end of the day, or in the beginning of this day, I should say, we're just in a new times where things are changing pretty fast. And I'll call it vindication because, again, there's a lot of people out there that, talk about people, say bad things about people. You're nuts. You're crazy. UFOs don't exist, or all of this stuff. And, for now that the press is mainstream media, it is changing, and it's nothing better than being in the right place at the right time, and then you got to do something about it. And so even for me, several months ago, I was just investigating UFOs. Now it's much more significant than that. It's a whole nother level, dealing with people, their experiences, and searching for the truths in some areas that have twisted things into a whole different level than just sitting here looking at case files, determining what it is, and it's bigger. So, my part is to do my message. Tiffany and I talk about this all the time, of especially in the community, in the minority community. We want to really be expressive there because, once again, this is a whole nother topic, though. It gets even deeper on how we can handle when these things are coming aboard. So, but again, you got Stephen Greer, you got Luis Elizondo. I think at the end of the day, and then at the end of this, I'll share kind of a collusion, connection between them both that I think we all should look at it. But anyway, let me see what we got on YouTube real quick, and then we'll bring John up next. I'm going to read. Let me just pick something here. Oh, someone said, ain't nobody got time for that. That's Ross. So that works. All right, Ross. Okay, so if anyone are looking at some things, let me read this real quickly. And all right, so they're just making comments. Nobody's really making they're all saying some great stuff. So John, you are on Clubhouse.
Real quick, if you PTR,
That's what?
I just pulled to refresh. I just dropped off for a second.
I see a dog. What are you seeing? What?
There you go. I muted that mic.
If you pull to refresh, Roderick, I'm next. I just dropped off.
Yeah, go ahead, Josh, and then we'll get to John after.
Oh, so you're saying that we skipped him?
Yes, that's what I was going to say.
So
yeah, I had just dropped off.
If you leave the room, you leave the room. You know that, right?
Oops.
No. Okay. I get it, Tiffany. I'll make sure I pay attention to the mic. She is shutting me down. I just want y'all to know. But anyway, so Josh, if you left the room, you left the room, my friend. But go ahead. Josh is my friend, y'all. So don't take it the wrong way. Otherwise, there'll be a conspiracy on treating you and that dog another way. Go ahead.
Thanks, Roderick. I see Greer and Elizondo was talking about the same thing. Greer talks about energy and a better energy system than the petro system. And Elizondo is in a propulsion group, which they talk about energy. So I think those two need to sit down and have a good conversation.
Yeah, and I think so. I think that. Oh, you mean Greer and Louis sit down?
Yeah.
Shoot, have you seen the body mass on one of them dudes? One of them dudes is a pretty big dude, and I think they were box. I mean, if somebody calling you names, they ain't just talking about. I think that the information that Lou is saying is wrong, and the other one saying, "Well, I think what Steven's saying we saw could be judgmental." No, they're saying, "Man, one of these person is this."
Ain't nobody got time for that.
And the other
What
one
you
is,
talking about?
I mean, they going at it. So I don't think it'll be no sit down and we're going to come to a conclusion that we can tell the public, oh, yeah, we came together. We both just don't know what the hell it is. No, they're not going to be doing that. Tiffany, with that being said, we can move to John now, though, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Josh had thrown in the chicken for the dog, and nice dog. Go ahead, John.
Hey, Roderick. Hey, Tiffany. Thank y'all for the room. I'm kind of sort of on the fence too, but I hadn't really heard this mentioned yet, but I think ever since we kind of released the genie out of the bottle with like nuclear weapons, we've been monitored ever since that time. And I think that's really what they've been doing is monitoring us because we have, created something that really could destroy us. And I think we're getting closer to a time now where they're realizing that when I say them, I'm talking about aliens, extraterrestrials. I think they've been monitoring us, trying to make sure we didn't destroy ourselves. And here we are getting ready to venture out farther in space, talking about going to Mars. And like when you say, hey, there's been a whole lot of sightings around Virginia, that would be where nuclear submarines would be. I just think that it's really up to us. It's, if whether it could be good or bad, it could be good. They'll have good intentions as long as we don't do something we shouldn't do. But as tensions rise up, and they probably know more about our tensions between other countries than what we as a public even know. And I just think it's really up to us as far as what our leaders decide to do. Whether they're just going to let us know that, hey, if y'all can't keep your genie in a bottle, then we may step in and do something, especially if you're talking about going a little bit farther out in space than where you've been going. But that's just my standpoint. It's really, it could go either way. But I mean, it could be bad if we make bad decisions, but it could be good as long as we, the way we've gone the last 50, 60 years.
And you know what, John, I agree in a lot of retrospect of what you're saying. And then also Renee on YouTube says, Dr. Stephen Greer bench presses 500 pounds. So there you have it if it comes down to a full throttle in that deal. But I just wanted y'all to know. That stuff, we got insiders on this thing, 500 pounds, and then, who knows. But where I'm going to go with this is, here's where I'm kind of off the rail a little bit. And John, forgive me. I do hear, and you're not the only one, but there are some that, will say, if we're not doing the right thing, if we're not doing this, they are going to do that. Even that's enough to spur the fact that we want to be prepared, because who knows? And regardless, I don't want them to come to here and fly down here and say, you guys are freaking up Earth. Now get off of it. Or we're going to annihilate you guys or whatever, because life and preservation has a way. We will want to preserve ourselves. And we all know that if it comes down to that. So it ain't going to matter if they have good intentions to wipe us off because we're freaking up the planet, and I'm going to get one of these little beep buttons next, beep, but still, if they did come here and say, you guys are killing the planet, now it's time to get you off of here, I'm still going to fight. I don't want to go. And I don't think a lot of millions of people want to go. And therefore, we're going to fight back War of the Worlds. If they come back and say something nice, there's things that it's all good. That's fine. So I think the whole point is we may be destroying the planet and they may not like what we're doing, but regardless, they don't like it or not, I don't think they're going to come here and put a time clock on all of us and say, it's time for y'all to go. It's not a person on this phone or in this clubhouse or looking at YouTube is not going to fight for preservation of life. You're going to do that unless you're just ready to go. And if you are, okay, go ahead. You don't need to wait for the moment. But what I'm saying is, and don't take that the wrong way. I'm just saying we all want to survive. That's who we are. And life finds a way. Mother Nature then finds a way. And Tiffany, I know if I said anything, you're the person out of anybody that will correct me and without me feeling any kind of way. So if I said something crazy just then, please go ahead.
Yeah. So if anyone is feeling like they're done or they don't want to be here anymore, they wouldn't fight. I would suggest that you call and get some help with that, because we definitely don't want anyone to make any decisions off of that. But it was all said in
That's why I got the greatest admin of all time. See, I just knew, and I don't have to usually see it in the past with text, or rather you might want to edit that a little bit. Now, because we done work together so long, I just get that subconscious, higher consciousness thought when something comes out of my mind. I mean, I can't take it back because once it goes, it's gone. And so I just know, okay, on the legal side of it, she's going to cover our asses on that side. And thank you, Tiff. All right, who do we got next?
It's looking like Patrick.
Okay, Patrick, go ahead.
All righty. Well, thank you for having me up on stage, guys. Really appreciate being a part of this group. The other part of this is that we are on Clubhouse, an open forum that's recorded. Every conversation is recorded on Clubhouse. And, where I think a lot of people don't really have like the cojones, or they don't want to share their actual real opinion on this subject because they don't maybe want it to be scrutinized or whatever the case might be. And even with myself, I have an alien clothing brand, and I may turn people away by my own personal decisions on this. But I've never been PR, and I don't think I'm going to start now. I will tell you that I'm in the middle on this. I do think that there's substance to both sides, but here's where I have some skepticism. The government has never given me any reason to trust that any narrative that they put out is not being spun in a way that probably will favor them of some sort. And so that's where the issue lies with me. Could Elizondo be telling the truth? Maybe, possibly. He sounds sincere, when he's on his shows, but he's also a CIA operative, and, they're trained to lie. Unfortunately, that's what they do best. Now, I'm not saying that what he's putting out is lies, because, a lot of it, is truthful from what I've seen out of him thus far. But a lot of people, have controversies with 9/11. Listen, I watched an interview with Paul Hellyer. And this guy is the former, basically, Secretary of Defense to Canada. This guy, risked everything, came out and basically, did a tell-all interview and said that, the government always has to have an enemy. Number one, it was communism. Then we moved on to terrorists. And he says that he saw a document that basically shows that, the government in the United States set up a false flag for 9/11. Now, I know that's extremely controversial and it riles up a lot of feathers. All I'm saying is this is what this guy is saying. And then now he said that we are moving on to our third and final threat. And this is, coming from, a 90-year-old guy who's written however many books, and has basically put his reputation, everything on the line, and said that this is what's going on. The third and final threat is going to be extraterrestrials, and the aim in mind is for a one world government. Now, I know you may want to see me with a tinfoil hat on, and a part of the every conspiracy room that there is. You know, the problem is with conspiracies is that, you know, most of the ones that I, you know, give any merit to wind up coming true. So, you know, peg me with whatever you want to peg me with. But, you know, I just like to read and I like to take in knowledge. I'm not, you know, sitting at home in my basement trying to say that this is what's going on and, you know, getting as many guns as possible and, you know, on Facebook groups and this and that. I just truly like to understand what's going on in the world. And I don't know that everything that I'm saying is 100% truthful and accurate, but I will say that there's some sort of substance to both arguments. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of Stephen Greer either. You know, I think that Stephen Greer is very much one-sided and refuses to look at anything else. He's basically saying that, you know, all aliens are completely, you know, that they all have like a positive outlook. They all have like a, you know, positive presence, and that they all just, you know, want the better for humans. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think there are some negative entities out there as well. So.
All right, Patrick. Okay, we got about 20 minutes left. You and I talk. Oh, was that what that was? That was was that a sound on sale or what was that? Because, you know, we got the real deal. We could do the, you know, I get it. I tell you what, I do need to pay more attention to that because that's what Tiffany keeps me on track and everything else. But Patrick, you and I will talk later because we do. But at the same time, so here's what I want everybody to consider. Now, this is a great conversation. We ain't, you know, of course, we don't have an after show and all that. But tomorrow, Wednesday night, I don't know, but if Vishnu and them decide to do a room, I would love for them to make a part 2 of this because I think this is a continuing conversation that can go. And maybe he would, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. And Patrick, especially, I do love listening to what you have to say. I just want to make sure that we do give time to the rest of our speakers. But, you know, Patrick, I'll always even call you up here if you're not already have your hand raised.
Oh, yeah. So maybe I think Vishnu and them in the audience, they may agree to that. If they don't, then it's not going to go down. If they can't come up here and tell y'all to your face that they're going to do that tomorrow, then they're not going to do it. Okay. I'm just letting y'all know that's the way they roll. So I'm baiting them in. I'm throwing the hook, the fish, everything. Right now, I should be getting like a text, bring me on stage, brother. Okay. They scared.
Thank you for letting me share, and you know, I love being a part of this group. So yeah, if you guys want to have me up some other time for an extended conversation, I think that it's good to have, you know, conversations, not debates on the issue.
Hey, are we all in it? We think contrasting views is the way we roll. Tiffany and I do that offline constantly, and we bring it here as well. Vishnu is on stage, or you want to make a part 2 this tomorrow? Yes or no?
I will give you a strong maybe.
Oh shit! You know, this is why. This is why. But you know what? Somebody in our audience will take that offer and do it. Strong maybe. Why? I mean, are you busy? You got a date? What's going on?
We like surprises. Tune in tomorrow.
All right. Okay. You know, it's all because I made a suggestion. These guys, they do their own thing. They think for themselves. You know, it's just like, I just said, well, maybe y'all talk about part 2 tomorrow. And they're probably saying, what the hell Rod doing? We're going to talk about Mary Poppins tomorrow. That's how they roll, you know. So I got you.
Mary Poppins, 7 Pacific tomorrow.
There you go. All right. So here we go. One of the things that I would like to kind of clear the air and say this. What if, just possible, okay, I'm talking to my YouTube fans here. We got, you know, great audience on YouTube. You know, the ideal of crossing these things is going to be great. People here on Clubhouse, and just let you know, the YouTube folks, we will soon have a way you will see these people. It's here. I just haven't got it to work. I'm going to get with my boy DP who gave me this technology, and he's going to have to go deeper in it. He runs the Veterans Network. You guys got to check their channel and stuff out, Room Club, and he does live all the time. So he got this thing to a science. But what I'm going to do, let's clean the slate here. Let's just say Stephen Greer is not doing what he's doing, and Lou Elizondo is not saying what he's saying or being where he is. So let's just put it on the side of this. You look up in the sky, we see things flying around, and we see our jets getting left behind, and they're trying to chase them. Okay, what are we thinking? Then on the other hand, we see a guy standing out in the field, meditating for a long time, and all of a sudden lights and orbs show up. Not spacecrafts, not something that's flying around, speeding around, maneuvering, jumping in out of the water. We just see something appears. So we know it's got to be two different things here. This is where I'm going with that. But let's take both of them out. You just see somebody out there summoning up, if I'm saying that correct, YouTube, right? And or inviting, I'm sorry, that's what it was. Inviting, these orbs and things up that I'm calling it because we don't know. What side of the fence are you on? And we're not, let's take them two out of the equation. So we're not picking sides on the two, but let's just go with the obvious. We know there's stuff flying in our skies that we have no freaking idea, and we can't do nothing about it if it was hostile. We also know that there's things on the other side that's being invited and people having experience so far has not been hostile. So with those two things, now how do we look at it? And next we have Samantha. She is a MUFON investigator as well. Go ahead, Sam.
Oh, you're cracking me up because I had my points for both sides because I follow both of them. And, but I can totally take the two of them out of it because my points are probably still the same. I think when I first started, studying ufology, it was because I have a fear of this, something unknown in the sky, and I wanted to know more about it and could it hurt us? And then you hear about these abduction experiences, and those are really scary. So I kind of like that, and I will call him out by name, but I like that Lou has kind of been studying it, and he talks about the 5 characteristics and put more of a scientific spin behind it. So maybe we can understand that. The flip side is, from the Greer side is, I love the idea that these could be loving beings and that, they want us to care for the earth. We shouldn't shoot them down. We should, give them a chance. It's just something that we don't know and we don't understand. And so, I can see both points. And so I guess, trying to take both of their personalities out of it is, goodness. You got me all discombobulated, Roderick, when you changed the topic around like that. But I guess what I'm trying to say is,
I mean, don't you get it? Just take what we think about the individuals out of it because we're supposed to be at a higher consciousness now, right? So let's look at it from the obvious.
Out there, I think it's just like people. There's good people and there's bad people. So I think we should at least have the knowledge to know what it is so we can make our own decision. And hopefully we take a little bit from both sides and we have an open minded and we try and approach it from a place of love and unity and consciousness. But at the same time, we're not crazy and we don't just say, oh, it's fine, let him come down here. Because we really don't know what it is, and we do want to watch out for ourselves and our families and protect the earth that we have. So I guess that taking personalities out, that's kind of my thought.
Okay, well, let's assume that I didn't say it. So we can go back with the verses, those two. I just want to throw that out there as a peace offering, but let's go back. So between the two, where are you at?
Boldest and belligerent, right?
You got that right.
I really like, what Lou said. I mean, I like his approach, and but I mean, the flip side is I've also bought the Stephen Greer CE5 app, and I've been out in the field with some people, trying to bring them in myself. Now, flip side, after I did that, I thought, that might be really stupid because I don't know what it is.
Okay.
And, I would certainly only want to do it in a group of people. But I think my main point about Lou that Dr. Greer said at the beginning of this, when you brought him on was, well, he knows about this. Lou Elizondo saw a UFO and an alien or whatever, or an alien ship, and he's not telling anybody. So therefore he's not truthful. Well, I don't think that's the truth. Lou's been very clear that he still has a security clearance. And so he's already said there's certain things that I know that I'm not going to tell you or I'm not able to speak on. So I think it's kind of, I don't like the Dr. Greer is calling him a liar. I think there's just some things that Lou can't say. And I think he's trying to bring us into disclosure. At the same time, Dr. Greer was like the front runner for disclosure, for many years now. And he's the one who had the conference in DC to bring all the speakers in and to really bring this to the public attention. So I think they both play a part in this.
Okay, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. I appreciate it. All right. So what we're gonna do, we got Chaz, Jamie, and Josh. Since you already spoke, we'll get to Kimberly and Kamala, and then we'll go back to you. And then, all right, Chaz. I did change it up a little bit, but you don't have to follow that protocol of taking the two people out of it, because this conversation is about Stephen Greer versus Luis Elizondo. Go ahead and state your case.
It is sure to cause controversy.
Yep.
Yeah, well, my opinions might be a little controversial here.
Okay. Hang on. Let me get this ready then. All right. So that's for you. Go ahead.
Myself, and I've been, following Greer for obviously much longer than Luis, simply because he's been around longer. And while I think he did some good work early on in his career, I think he's kind of moved into Scientology, an off-branch of it, off-brand Scientology. I think that's kind of what his classes and things have kind of become. Yes, you can meditate and see light objects. I can give you a bunch of different other substances that will cause you to see light objects too if you're out in the desert. It's not really a super complicated thing. I think he's charging people for. Now, Luis seems to be fairly genuine. The only controversy I've really found about him is his claim to be the head of ATIP is kind of disputed. It looks like he did work for it, but not necessarily in the top brass position that he often claims, which, might be a mild lie, but it kind of, throws a little doubt on the entire situation. As for the phenomenon itself, I do think there's something, about our consciousness. I do agree with Greer in that aspect that, it does involve something beyond physical craft, in the same vein as Valet and those other researchers. But I've also come across a lot of information that suggests there are human craft that are designed here on Earth and cause kind of psychedelic side effects. And a lot of this evidence comes from Russian researchers. So it's bizarre, and it's possible that this soft disclosure is just a kind of a play on a chessboard where they knew that we have these craft, there's other nations that have these craft, and we've been, kind of playing these war games, and it hasn't gone anywhere. So they're like, all right, well, let's tell everyone about it and see how that changes the game. It's a fun idea, and it's one I've been talking with a few people about. But it's certainly interesting.
Okay.
As for the two of them,
all right. Yeah. Go ahead and give to the two of them for me real quickly, and then we will go. So give me the two, the overview on both, if you can, in 30 seconds.
I can do it even less. I think Greer is untrustworthy. I think Luis is slightly less untrustworthy.
Okay, great. All right, that's good. So at the same time, we're looking at the the idea, like you said, and I get it. There's a lot of things, and I think earlier someone was talking about the government and how we can't believe. It's like the boy that cried wolf, right? At some point, but I'm saying once again, we don't give a crap about what the government is saying, what is not there. And this is why I bring it back to say, what the hell do you think is up there? It's flying around. Okay, whether it's man-made, whether it's not man-made, and of course we got codes for that in MUFON. We can, list it all kind of ways. But we're not bringing MUFON in the middle of this. But my point is, there's something that we have to look at. So real quickly, Jamie, how are you doing? Appreciate your patience. If anyone else on YouTube, we have Ben over there on YouTube. He's going back and forth testing the systems there. And I would have brought him on stage to help Vishnu. And maybe we can do that because, between the two, they'll go more than Mary Poppins. But Jamie, go ahead.
Hey, first of all, thanks for having me on. I just wanted to have to say that I'm really on neither of their sides because to me it seems like they're in a my dick is bigger than your dick kind of competition. And
Whoa. Whoa. Wait a minute. Let me make sure we got the kids. Do we have anybody? Everybody got your look, everybody rushing their kids back in the room right now, going, All right.
saying that again.
No, you okay. I mean, we are adults here, but I would just tell us, hey, Rod, yeah, it's coming. All right. That was a UFO, y'all. That's all it was. Unidentified information. Now go ahead. You speak freely here. That's just my humor. Go ahead. I love it. Go ahead.
Well, so I watched Dr. Greer's 32-minute YouTube video the other day, and I literally feel like I wasted 32 minutes of my life. He spent the entire video bad-mouthing nearly everybody in both the.
Oh, I think we lost Jamie.
No, we can't. We cannot. We cannot, because that would have been a small problem. Go ahead, Jamie.
He spent the entire video saying that everybody was bad, and then towards the end of the video he said, I'm the only person you can trust. And when somebody says that to me, I lose all trust in them. But I don't know enough about either of them to be on the middle or to be on one side or the other. I just feel that I don't need anybody to tell me extraterrestrials are real. I reach into my consciousness. I'm on a journey to discover the truth for myself, and I just don't trust people who spend their entire day bad-mouthing the other person. And yeah, so that's what I had to say about that.
Well, okay, that's fair enough, Jamie. And I think we now we can't go into the the contest, the theme contest, and all of that. But at the that was funny. But at the same time, I get it, and I know what you're saying. We can think for ourselves, and I think that's what a lot of people has been saying. People can think for themselves, and that is one of the great things to do when it comes down to that. So, Kimberly, you're up, and wait a minute, let me see. Anybody on YouTube want to say something now? Because I'm scrolling down to the comments. I like all your comments. Post it right now, and I'll bring you up for whatever you got to say. And please, what's the deal between Stephen Greer versus Louise, and who got a good opinion? If you want to type that on your comments. But in the meantime, we'll come back to you. Oh, here we go. No, we're not going to worry about that one. Well, okay, so Kimberly, you go ahead and let's hear it.
Well, thank you, Roderick and Tiffany. I'm glad to be here again in Clubhouse with you guys. Well, here's my question. We all know that aliens have existed. They've been around forever, it seems like. You got somebody that has skills like Stephen Greer, and you got Louis that also has intelligence from being in the government and whatnot. He quit, if I'm correct. Why not have them put their egos aside and work together?
Okay, that would probably make sense, and I think that and I don't think you're finished. Are you finished yet? So I can comment, or?
Yes, I am finished.
All right, great. All right, appreciate your comment. And so basically is this. Now, I've been told by a few people that Lou Elizondo says it's not about the money, when he's doing whatever. But I can rest assured at some point he has to make a living. And when somebody calls him up and say, I'm going to give you $25,000 to show up on my show, he's going to say, no, I ain't doing that Stephen Greer shit. I'm not going to make money off of this. I am not saying that that's what he said and doing. I can't believe he would. Why not? Okay. If he's out of work, how do he pay for his lifestyle and, or whatever? So there's going to be information, and the networks who air these things and the people that play commercials on the networks make money airing what they said. There's money involved in every aspect of all of this. And so I personally think, okay, should somebody make billions, millions, or are we suffering? Are we having a problem and people are paying because they're trying to find out things? No, it's just the way the world works, and that's how it works. I think I'd rather stand on what is being said versus who's making the most money, or as Kimberly said, who got the bigger, cucumber. or whatever you want. I don't know. Tiffany saved me. But here's the deal. Come on, you go. I'm gonna get out of this as quick as I can. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say that I'm big on.
Everybody using big now. Everything's big. Go ahead. I know. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just in the middle when it comes to this. I really think that we have to be prepared for the worst, but we've been brainwashed through our lives to lash out at things when we don't understand it and can't accept it. And I don't think that should be the norm. I don't think that we should always lash out at things when we don't know what it is. So I think that's a little Stephen Greer in me. But I'm also open to being prepared, like you said, Roderick. If there was, and it could be from extraterrestrials, or it could be a threat from our own government. Either way, we all need to be prepared in our own consciousness that it can necessarily be us in a situation facing things that we aren't aware of what they are, or we are aware of what our government is capable of, and it could be those individuals that we're fighting. So I mean, I'm just open to that.
I appreciate it. You made some great points. Not to cut you short, we almost done with time a little bit, but here's the deal, though. Okay, no problem. But here's the deal. I'm gonna play a little side of the fence, and I want you guys to feel me, and really do. If extraterrestrial evidence and Tiffany and I had brought you a experience tonight, welcome to hit the send money down there and send me some money. I'm gonna take it. Now, if you want to say that I will look at what we're doing because I need your support to bring in more things, I will accept your support, and it is money. So the whole thing where I'm going with this is whether you like what we're saying here and you want to support that, or you got an experience. And I'm saying this, I'm not really bringing the right correlation between the two of them. I'm just saying, okay, if we're worrying about the money, it's the money. If it's not, worrying about who. Okay, so let's break it down. We're not worrying about the money. Is that what's the driving force because somebody's making a lot of money? Or is it the person who's saying it? Let's go to that next level. Is the problem? Or are we not focusing on what is really happening despite of who is saying it? Let's just focus on what we do know. And on both sides of the fence, if we do believe that what Stephen is, has been inviting, his invitations, then we got to believe that there's something else that we're not familiar with that is showing up into this consciousness race. On the other side of it, then what Lou's saying, there's something that's in the skies that could be a threat. We don't know what it is, and that brings it then into the threat race. Even way, we're running a race of time, trying to figure out what do we do next, what's going to happen next. And I think what we do, our job as humans, right? We are that, and some of you are, got a little more. It's just more or less saying that we just got to know. And I think we all just want the truth on both ends of the fence and stop pointing fingers and everything else. So, Josh, you're back up. If you got something you want to add, we're not going to stay too much longer. So if you got a minute, and Tiffany will make her noises is worse than mine. But at the same time, I think it means well. So do you have anything else you want to share before we get ready to use our final words here?
Yeah. Thanks so much for having me on the stage, Roderick and Tiffany. And I don't ever do this, the clubhouse shill, but shit, if you guys found value, tap that follow Roderick, follow Tiffany, follow their club. They're doing some good shit. Excuse my language, good stuff up here. And, I just wanted to say that. And I wanted to kind of tie in my last point. I'll try to keep it short and sweet. I know I get excited on this topic. So, yes, Luis Elizondo, perceives it as a threat. And I think that's good to turn the public attention to it. So if I had to choose, one side or the other, I would probably follow under his camp. Stephen Greer kind of loses me with some of his you know, calling out and the consciousness. But I think that's also a part of it. I just think we all don't understand it. And like I was saying, that they are here, to, like you said, Roderick, to kind of watch, observe, and they're not going to ever come down and show us and do anything of that sort. But they're here, and you know, it's been documented for 7 years. I think we all agree on that fact. And I'm always just up here, you know, if I ever host a room or jump in with you guys, I'd love to do it again. But just to be here to destigmatize the topic and draw attention to it and just keep calling out, you know, what the hell is it? We got pilots, you know, confirmed 4 different ways of seeing flying things in the sky, and we just all need to understand that it's real and it's happening, and changing the term from UFO to UAP is, you know, concrete there. So I'll leave it at that. And, you know, thanks so much for having me up on stage, guys.
All right. Appreciate it. And I want to appreciate all of you, or one of you that bought me a cup of coffee. Appreciate it, Mr. John. I think I appreciate you. Tiffany, give me some of your final words if you want to share, and then I'll go into some announcements and a few other things real quick, but go ahead.
Well, I guess my final words, what I've gathered from everybody here, taking a little bit of this, a little bit of that, would be the whole issue of the UAP phenomena between these two, Stephen Greer and Luis Elizondo. I think it just comes down to, I'll use an analogy of driving, right? We all get into our cars and we're going along, and we kind of trust that everyone alongside us is going to stay in their lane and do what they're supposed to do, right? And so if we were of the Stephen Greer camp, we just believe that everyone is going to stay in their lane because we believe in the goodness of all people. And you'd be right to a certain extent, but accidents happen. And I think that's where Luis Elizondo comes in, is he says, we don't know 100% the intent, the origins. And so even if you believe that you do know, even if you are 100% on the Stephen Greer side of things, and you know exactly what these are, and you can invite them and you feel a connection, that is awesome. But on the off chance that that is not correct, or there is something else in addition to the thing that you believe you are connected to, I think I would just have to go with the caution approach that Mr. Elizondo is posing, because it's better to be safe than sorry, right?
All right. So here's what we're going to do. And you're correct. Safe. You know, it's like, Roderick, don't say that joke. Okay. So here's the deal. Sometimes you got to reel in yourself. Everybody who's on Stephen Greer down in his audience, turn on the hands button, Tiffany. We just want to see a show of hands. We're going to count the numbers real quick, if you can. We're going to wait. Okay. So come on, put your hands up. Put your hands up so that we can see. Keep going. This is Stephen Greer's side. We got 6, 7. All right, it's going. Come on, YouTube. Let me see what you got. 8, 9, Stephen Greer. All right. So, okay, drop down to 7. Somebody change sides real quick. 8, now they're going back up. Whoever it is decide. Make your mind up and keep your hand up. So, all right. So at this point, Tiffany, what's the number? You see 8, right? That's for Stephen Greer.
I see between, it's 8, 7, 8,
all right.
7, 9.
Okay.
7.
So, all right. So let's turn the hands off to clear them out, and then we'll turn them back on and let you know, because they ain't going to be right. Okay. So we're going to go with Louise, and go ahead, turn them back on. Let's see the numbers. Woo! Keep going.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, shuck it, duck it, quack, quack. Yeah. All right. Shuck the duck, quack, quack. So it is a unanimous decision in the left corner, weighing, you know, he's not as big as Rod, but he's a big man, Luis Elizondo. All right. You can turn them off, Tiffany. And so we'll do that. So as we go, Vishnu, have you guys decided yet before we close out, did you change anything yet? Yes or no?
I can guarantee that it'll either be about Stephen Greer versus Luis Elizondo or something else.
Okay. See,
I was really looking forward to that.
you know, he is a diplomat. Of course, it's going to be either that or something else. That's why he's my boy. I got you, because whenever I call him, I just want to hear cut the shit. That's how he rolls. Okay. So, all right. So, without being said, there we go. Man, this is a great night tonight. And I want to thank you guys for being here. That call tomorrow is going to be at 7 p.m. Pacific. That's going to be when Vishnu does what they do. But I want to thank each and every one of you. My YouTube, you see me, I'm waving at you. I appreciate you. We're going to try to do this more live. I will have the screen up in the future so that we can see what we see. Those of you who bought a cup of coffee, Jim, I appreciate it. I appreciate the contributions. And those who've already given contributions, I appreciate that as well. Get on that text list because that's very important, more than what you know, because there's going to be a lot of things coming down the pipeline from there. Man, this is an exciting times. And my word is to say, I think we all should prepare, and not just prepare for things negative, but just prepare for what the shit we don't know. And that's worth it, right? That's worth it to at least find out what we don't know and have that conversation and begin the process of optimism. Okay. And so with that being said, as you know, I got the greatest admin of all time, Tiffany, and she was great tonight and on point tonight, and also put me in check tonight, muted my mic tonight, told me I was saying some crazy shit tonight and a whole bunch of stuff tonight. So she was on it tonight. Okay. Just letting y'all know. So that's the birth of tomorrow's leader. Okay. From that standpoint. And again, all our MUFON people for coming up. And you guys just know that we are in some exciting times. So get ready, and don't disappear when it comes down to this. And go ahead and follow us, follow the speakers. And then, of course, we'll be back on Thursday. And hopefully as a celebration of being part of the Creators Winners program. Okay. I'm Roderick Martin. It's been a plum, pleasing pleasure, as well as a privilege. Good night, everyone. And we'll see you Thursday. All right, YouTube, I'm out of here. If you guys want to say, we're still on point. We done hung up the clubhouse. We about ourselves. If we want to talk about them behind our back, we can, because we can keep the party rolling if that's what we want to do. But I'm not. But I do appreciate you guys. All right, Dead Rabbit, yourself, everybody. I think it was a good show. Again, I want to, if you guys think that this is a good thing to be airing this at the same time, it takes a little lot of work. But if you do, hit me in the comments. Let me know to keep it going. Like I said, I do have a point to at some point where you will see the clubhouse on the screen and you'll be able to see people. Spread the channel. I need more subscribers. So we're going to be posting some more content here on YouTube. So I really appreciate that. And it, real excited about doing that as well. So again, if you guys are here, I want to thank you for watching on YouTube. And like I say, we will do the integration from there. So with that being said, guys, you guys have been amazing tonight. Just want you to kind of see in real time. And we'll try to make it more interacting. And we, of course, our goal is to be the boldest, baffling, belligerent clubhouse in the world, creating captivating conversations that will certainly cause controversy. Good night, guys. And I'll see you on Thursday right here again. Okay. I'm going to be live again since I got a face for TV. I'm not as, you get the point. All right. Good night.